distinguished members of Alausa, I want to specially recognize the 20th head of service, Mrs. Folashade Adesoye. I also want to recognize Dr. Mrs. Elizabeth Oduwole. I also want to welcome Mrs. Aluko, the retired directors on board. You are welcome. Today, we are going to be looking at proper posture in the senior. Some people said when you are getting older, you start shrinking, and you probably start getting shorter. Is this correct? Can we prevent it? What implication does that have on our health? We are going to hear it all today from a seasoned physiotherapist. But before we go ahead, I would like to welcome my permanent secretary, the class captain of the body of permanent secretary, Mr. Samson Ajibade, to declare the webinar open on behalf of the head of service. Thank you. You're welcome, sir.
Good morning, dear participants, especially my SY Oga, Mrs. Folashade Adesoye. Thank you for being there for us all the time, for joining and letting us share your wealth of experience. Mrs. Yabo Aluko, Mr. Osiefa, Dr. Duwale, Mr. Tairu, I can see all those ones, and the rest of our guests and our senior citizen. I want to welcome you and appreciate your coming on board to share experiences with us. As the topic suggests that posturing, proper posture and its importance for seniors. And as just lightly mentioned by the director of PSD, Mrs. Rodola, that age takes a lot of things from us. But I believe there are exceptional cases, and exceptional cases depending on our lifestyle, what we do, what we can do to prevent some of those things, so that when they see us at 60, they still think we are 40. We can attest to that from the looks of some of our guys who have retired. They're still looking good and radiant, still bubbling. I want to liken the topic of discourse to what we read in the scripture. I'm sorry to be very personal on this note, regarding how Moses was described. Attaining the age of 120, the scripture told us that Moses, the strength was as if he was 40. Mm-hmm. And also that his eyes were not weary. That is what I want to liken the topic of discourse to. Grace and how you live your life. What we eat, what we do, we attest to that. Aside from prevailing on serious medical challenges, aside from that, if we follow strictly what we are going to hear today from the expert, the physiotherapist, I know is going to be beneficial to us. So let them see us at age 60 looking 40. Let them see us at age 80, still looking 50, looking radiant and bubbling like some of our guys are doing. So I want to seize this opportunity to also welcome the physiotherapist who will be taking us through, to appreciate joining us, to let's share some experiences that will be beneficial to us, so that at old age, we live a good and healthy life. So on this note, on behalf of the head of service, Mr. Akim Uriokona, aka Kim Boy, I want to welcome you and on his behalf declare the webinar open. Thank you for joining us, and please let's enjoy the discussion for the betterment of our own lives now and in the nearest future. Thank you and welcome, and God bless.
Thank you very much, sir. Once again, I want to welcome us. As the permanent secretary was addressing us, I noticed that some other permanent secretaries had already joined us. I see Mrs. Funmi Okewo, you are welcome, ma. And I also see Mrs. Eboluwa Oluwashuji, you are welcome. Welcome on board. I recognize everyone. There are some people who joined just with the name of their phones. I'm sorry if I cannot recognize you. I'm probably seeing just the name of your phone. Today, like we had earlier said, a physiotherapist is already with us, who is going to take us on a topic, proper posture and its importance for seniors. We have Mrs. Omololu Sangowawa. She's a physiotherapist, a graduate of College of Medicine, University of Lagos, and a member of Nigeria Society of Physiotherapy. She has a 14 years experience in physiotherapy practice, and she's currently the head of physiotherapy unit in Folarinkoka Staff Clinic, Alausa. Mrs. Omololu Sangowawa, please unmute yourself, and you have the floor now.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. You probably
duly
will not hear
observed.
everybody's voice because they are on mute.
Okay.
You may not hear any response except
No
for mine.
problem. Okay, ma. My name is Mrs. Sangowawa Omololu. I'm here, I'm a physiotherapist, and I'm here to speak about good posture, proper posture, and its importance for seniors. Before I start, I would like to digress a little and just talk about as in good posture is really important for our spine health. And by sitting and standing with proper alignment, it improves blood flow, which helps us keep our nerves and our blood vessels healthy, and it supports our muscles and ligaments, and in the long run, it helps with our health. So here are the tables of content, which I would like to just focus on. Introduction, the spine. What are the spine segments? Normal spinal alignments, posture and the types of posture, keys to good postures rather, risk factors associated with bad postures, how to improve postures, then in general and in standing, then images. I just like so that one could understand what is expected of us when we talk about good posture. Then postural exercises for seniors for improving postures, and that will be it. So I'd like to share my as in the first slide, talking about the introduction. So have you ever noticed that the older that we get, we seem to get shorter? The reasons are, after age 40, from studies and from this anatomy that we learned in school, that after age 40, blood supply cuts off to the lower limb. And also that as a result changes there are some properties that change. on the spines. So basically, that's also reduces the length of our heights. So because from there, the bone mass tends to decrease and the spinal cord reduces. The fluid in it is not as taut as what it used to be. So it is true that our spine begins to change as we age. The vertebrae, the disc that act as cushions between the bones and the back start to break down and they thin out over time. Also, the cartilages and connective tissues in our spines, they start to lose their thickness and elasticity. However, there are things that we can do to ensure that we lose little of our height and keep the bones in our spines by maintaining proper posture. The next slide, please. The spine. Okay, basically, when we're talking about the spine, the way it's actually designed is that it has three natural curves that make it an S shape. These curves absorb shock. These curves absorb the shock serve as shock absorber to our body and protect our spines from injury. So basically, we have the vertebrae, the facet joints, the intervertebral disc, the spinal cord and nerves, and then the soft tissues. So each one, I'll try to explain in layman language. There are 33 of the bones that are on the spine. Just a moment. There are 33 of them that form the spinal canal. The spinal canal is a tube, is a tunnel that crosses the spinal cord and nerves, protecting them from injury. Most vertebrae move to allow for a few range of motion. That's whereby we can bend, stand up upright. Some parts of the vertebrae allow that. The lowest vertebrae, the sacra and the colex, they are fused together and they don't move. Okay, so the facet joints, these spinal joints have cartilages that allow vertebrae to slide against each other. The facet joints they allow you to twist and turn, and they provide flexibility and stability. These joints can develop arthritis and can cause back pain or neck pain. Then the intravertebral disc, these are flats, round, cushion sits in between the vertebrae and they act as the spine shock absorber. Each disc has a soft gel-like center, the nucleus populus, surrounded by the flexi outer parts, the ring, which we call the annulus. The intervertebral discs are under constant pressure. A herniated disc can tear, allowing some of the nucleus gels substance to leak out. Then the spinal cord and the nerves. The spinal cord is a colon, the colon of the nerves that travels through the spinal canal. The cords extend from the skull to the lower back. There are 31 pairs of them, which these nerves carry messages from the brain to the muscles. Then the soft tissues are the ligaments connecting the vertebrae to hold the spine in position. The muscles support the back and they help you to move. The tendons connect the muscles to the bones and aid movement. The next slide, please, ma'am. Okay, so what are the spinal segments? I said there are 33 vertebrae. Bones of the spine, they are bones of the spinal column. They make up 5 different spinal segments, starting at the neck and going down through to the buttocks. So we have the cervical part, which is the neck. Normally we have 7 bones, but in some cases we've seen patients where we see patients that have 8, but the normal thing is there is usually 7 bones. So we have the neck. the vertebrae allows you to turn, to lift your head, to tilt and lift your head upright. So that's what the spinal cord, the cervical part of the spine is about. And it actually has a C inward part, which gives it this lordotic curve. So now after this, the neck, which is the 7 bones, the next bones that follow are the thoracic. We have 12 of them. They are actually found around the chest area. The chest, they are found around the chest area, and there are 12 of them. They are attached to the ribs. This section bends and allows slight movement, and is also, the curve is also like a C, but it's outward. The C is to make a backward, outward curve, which that curve is called a kyphotic curve. Then we have the lumbar, which is the lower part, which is where we have our low back. So we have 5 bones there. They are called we call it L1 to L5, which is the lumbar bones. They make up the lower part of the spine. The lumbar spine supports the upper part of the spine. It connects the pelvis and bears most of our body weight, as well as it takes in. As well as it is the one that serves as makes many back problems occur in the lower spine. The lumbar spine bends inward to form a C shape, which is called the lordotic curve also. Then we have the sacrum. It has a triangular shape, is a triangular shaped bone, connects to the hips. The 5 sacral vertebrae fuse as a baby develops in the womb. Those bones do not move. The sacral and the hip bones form a ring called the pelvic glide. Then we have the coccyx, which is the tailbone. There are 4 of them. Those vertebrae, they are the small pieces of bone formed at the bottom of the spine. The pelvic floors and ligaments are attached to the coccyx. So the next slide, I just want us to see how a normal, next slide, ma. I just want us to see how a normal spinal alignment looks like. That is the side view and the back view. On the side view, if you look at it, the cervical has that C, then it comes out, the first C comes from inward, and the other C curves outward, which is around the thoracic, and then curves in at the lower part again, the lumbar part, which is an S shape. That's how we have the S shape that we're talking about. So for a normal bone, that if you see someone standing, how do you know if the person is standing properly? By looking at, for those that understand, if you look at the person, you see that the head is upright, the neck is standing upright, and then there's a curve, and then the S form. So that's how it forms. So the next slide, ma. What is posture? Posture is how you hold your body. There are 2 types of posture, the dynamic posture and the static posture. The dynamic posture is how you hold yourself when you are moving, like when you are walking, running, or bending over to pick up something. That's dynamic posture. Then the static posture is when you hold yourself, when you are not moving, when you are seated or standing upright or sleeping. That's what static posture means. Next slide, ma. Key to good posture, it's important to make sure that you have a good dynamic and a static posture. The key to good posture is that the position of your spine. Your spine has 3 natural curves at your neck, mid back, low back. Correct posture should maintain these curves, but not increase them. Your head should be above your shoulder, and at top of your shoulders should be over the hips. Next slide, ma'am. Risk factors associated with bad posture. When one has a bad posture, they tend to slouch or slumping over, which can form misalignment for the musculoskeletal system. Then it can also wear away at the spines, making it more fragile and prone to injuries. That's if the body is not in a proper posture, you are stressing some muscles and ligaments, and then over time, they adjust, but you are putting the bones around there, you're putting them in an abnormal position, and then over time, they tend to erode, or the muscles are also stressed, whereby we have sprains and strains. So that can happen with that. So that's also called, bad posture also causes neck pains, shoulder pains, and back pain, and it also decreases one's flexibility. The effects of bad posture also affects how well our joints move. Some people become as a stiff, maybe stiff shoulder, stiff knees, and all that because of bad posture. Then it affects balance and increases risk of fall. For those that have forward neck posture, they can, as in, if one sees that, the person can easily tend to fall. So bad posture, that's what it can also cause. And it makes it harder to digest one's food. When you eat and you're in a bad posture, the digestive system is also affected, and it even makes it hard for breathing. For those that have come up with, as a result of bad posture, have come up with scoliosis or kyphosis, it affects the breathing pattern. Next slide, please. How can I improve my posture in general? One has to be mindful of your posture during everyday activity, like while watching television, washing dishes or walking. One should stay active. Any kind of exercise may help improve your posture, but certain types of exercises can be essentially helpful. Those are exercises that we think maybe as a result of when one has a issue with maybe knee pain or back pain, over time, we give specific exercises for that condition to improve its flexibility and the strength of the muscles around there. So there are some exercises that are designed for that, but general exercises is actually good in the sense of stretching exercises and yoga. They also help to keep one active. Then one should maintain a healthy weight. Extra weight can weaken one's abdominal muscles, causing problem with the pelvic and the spine, and they also contribute to low back pain. And all this can hurt one's posture. Then also, when comfortable shoes, low heels, high heels, for example, can throw off one balance. It's like it shifts the body from the normal gravitational pull. And while the person walks, it puts stress on the muscles and harm other parts of, put stress on the muscles, and it can harm one's posture. Then make sure walk surfaces where you walk, whether sitting or in the front, are all comfortable so that your body is supported all the time. Next slide, please, ma'am. How can I improve my posture when sitting? Many seniors observe that when one is not as active as what you were and when you are at work, now you're home, you get to sit more. So while you are sitting, always make sure that you are seated properly, in the sense that you shift your sitting position often. That means you break as much as possible. You don't try not to sit for 1 hour, 2 hours on a stretch. Try to break it, as in when you sit for 45 minutes, 1 hour maximum, try and take a stroll, walk around, take brief walks around your house, and then you come back. That's fine for it helps the posture. Then when you're seated, try not to cross your legs. Make sure your legs are on or at an angle of 90 degrees, so that your ankle is on the floor, your foot are flat on the floor and they are separated. And make sure that when you sit, you relax, your muscles are relaxed. When your muscles are relaxed, you feel it. If it's stressed in the initial stage, it will give you some signs. And if those signs, you don't adjust, it will adapt and then it will cause problems for your posture. But when you feel uncomfortable, try and find a comfortable spot and try and adjust. So make sure that your back is fully supported when you are seated. You can use a back pillow or other back supports, or you can also get an ergonomic chair to sit, which is fine. Then make sure that your thighs and hips are supported. The seat is well padded, and your thighs and hips should be parallel to the floor. Next slide, please. How can I improve my posture when walking? So when walking, you make sure you stand up tall and straight and tall. Keep your shoulders back. Then you pull your stomach in, as in it's also pulling your stomach in is an exercise. It's called core. They are core exercises. Then you keep your head leveled, as in chin up, looking forward and not looking downward while walking or while standing up. Then your arms should hang down naturally at your side. Then you keep your feet should be at ease, as in wide apart slightly, and make sure that your weight is distributed evenly between the 2 feet so that you feel it, your weight is equally distributed on your feet. Next slide, please. So these are pictures of how one should sit. The first one is just is showing a diagram of someone sitting down upright. Her chair has a back support. So it's advisable for you always to sit with a chair that has a back support and not the one that is like a stool kind of chair. No, I won't advise. And if possible, if you have a chair that has an armrest, is also good. When you're using your system, because I'm sure some people they will have to go on their computers and still do some form of work. Being retired does not mean that some people won't get engaged anymore in office kind of work. So those are the pictures of a good posture, how it should look while sitting down. Next slide, please, ma'am. So this is a picture of how our standing posture should be like. When you're on the side, you can see her head is upright. She's having eye level, straight up, not looking downward, not tilting her head. Her back is straight. Her shoulders are upright. Her 2 hands are hanging by her side. Her legs is slightly separated, and her weight is equally distributed. And then when you look at her shoulder from the back view, one is not higher than the other. They are equal. So that's how a good standing posture should be. It should be equal. Next slide, please. So there are some exercises that one could do without getting to the gym that one could do on a daily basis to help improve the posture. We have the standing straight, which is also called the mountain pose. We have the sitting straight, which one can use a spinal extension exercise. Then we have the shoulder roll, the chin tuck, the wall tilt, and the bed dog. So for the standing pose, next slide, please. Next slide, please. For the standing pose, we have a diagram of how it looks. It's you do it whilst you stand with both feet, no more than the shoulder width. Then one would like taking a deep breath and make sure the trunk is high up there and standing with the 2 hands by one side while one does the exercise. So it's stand with your feet no more than shoulder width apart. Make sure they are side by side, neither in front of the other. Your arms are at your side. Build your posture from the feet up. Lift and spread your toes and set them back, down. Let your body sway a little bit, then relax into a center position. Lift your ankle and your knees and tighten your thigh muscles. Then your abdomen remains relaxed. Continue to lift upwards your spine image, the crown of your head remaining from the ceiling. That means you'd stand upright. You're as if you put a crown on your head. You're trying to balance it and make sure it doesn't fall. That's what this exercise is about. And you look straight ahead. You can do this whole count 30 counts for a minute and relax. So that's how to do a simple exercise called standing straight. Next slide, please. Sitting straight, that's a spinal extension. This, you can spend more time sitting, because we spend more time sitting. So make sure you're comfortable whenever you're sitting. Sit in a chair that your feet are flat on the floor. Then you lift up your rib cage. Then you sway your hips until you find a central position. Gently move your chin forward and back until your head is comfortable and centered. Then inhale and sit up tall. That's like taking in a deep breath while you sit up tall. Then you reach the crown of your head towards the ceiling. That means you're seated, but you raise a little bit of your trunk up. And by doing that, you are sitting upright, and it's also a form of exercise. You exhale and relax. That's taking in a deep breath, and you breathe out. Repeat that 10 times. Take it slow to make sure you ensure a good balance while you do this exercise. If you feel uncomfortable, that means if you feel dizzy, you can skip it. But however, it's a simple exercise. For those that feel dizzy, they can do away with it. But however, it's a simple form of exercise to make sure that you're sitting upright and you are putting all the bones, the neck, which is the cervical, the neck part to the lower part, the lumbar, you're putting them in alignment and sort of stretching them. So these are simple stretch exercises that you can do at home. Next slide, please. Okay, this one is called the shoulder roll. It's a movement at the shoulder, but you can do it while sitting or standing. For some people, I'll explain it as if one is making an upward movement with your shoulder and then go backwards and then roll back in. It's a clockwise. You can do it anti-clockwise and then go clockwise. So you lift your ribs and you relax your spine into a center position. You roll your shoulder up, back, and around. You can do this 10 counts, and you can do it clockwise and anti-clockwise. It's also a way to, while you're doing this, it puts your spine, you are putting your spine in an upright position and also exercising your shoulders and the thoracic area along with your shoulder. Next slide, please. The chin tuck. So for the chin tuck, it's an exercise for the neck and to put the head in an upright position. So it's, in this case, you sit, or you can do it while standing or sitting, anyone that is convenient for you. You pull your chin straight out and then backwards, up, front, and backwards. It's like that. So you put your chin straight out, then you pull it backwards, inward, and outward. So it's an exercise that you could do. It's good for the neck. And if you decide to hold in when you chin in, you could count 10 before relaxing. That is a core exercise for the neck. It can be done in standing or sitting, anyone that is convenient, but it also helps with your proper alignment of the spine, which is a good posture. Next slide, please. So there's another exercise we call the wall tilt. In this case, because we notice that as a lot of people get older and with the shrinking of the heights, and some people, we find out that some people bend while walking, as in it's seen with elderly. So to reduce this, we advise that they do this kind of exercise called the wall tilt. You come to the wall of the house, you go to the, you could take a corner of your house or at a comfortable spot where the wall and the lower part of the walls, they are aligned straight. And then you make your feet, you stand straight with your back against the wall. Then you move your feet out from the wall and you keep your shoulder and pelvis against the wall. Inhale, when you inhale, you put your back into the wall and you exhale and flatten your back into the wall. Inhale, you arch your back. Exhale, you flatten your back to the wall. This can be done with your arms at your side. And if you are comfortable, you can place your hands out, anyone that is comfortable for you. But however, you can also put your back to the wall and you stand up straight. And while you're standing up straight, you can count 10, relax, 10, 3 times. It's a form of good exercise for us as we get older too, at least to keep the spine after doing a lot of activities in the house. It's a form of putting our back on the normal alignment. Next slide, please. This exercise is called bed dog. It's done on the floor. So on the floor, first of all, you get on your fours, like your knees and then your 2 hands on the floor. While you do it, then you now take the opposite, left leg up, right leg up. While you do it, yes. You are on the floor on fours. Then you put up one leg, the left leg up, the right leg up, stretched, straight, like this image here that we can see. And then you drop, you can count 10, you drop it, you pick up the right hand, left leg, and you count 10. You can do 2 sets of that exercise. It's very good for our back and our spine. It's a strengthening exercise as well as alignment exercise. So basically, I've said in a nutshell, the little things that one can do to keep our spine in a proper alignment, which will also aid our health in long run, because if you are in a proper position, you breathe better, you will have neck pain, back pain. And besides this, I just wanted to digress a bit. I hope everybody at this age are using a firm mattress. It's very essential, because besides having a good posture, I would advise that you have a firm mattress, because if you sleep on a mattress that is soft, it's going to affect your spine. It's like the mattress will like mumble up all the posture, which is not advisable. So I will also advise, besides this good posture, you should consider your mattress. It should be firm, if not orthopedic, but a firm mattress. So thank you for listening, and I advise, take good care of your posture. It's very key to a sound health, and try as much as possible, get routine medical checkups done as much as possible. Thank you.
So thank you very much, Mrs. Omololu Sangowawa. You know, a lot of us are seeing Adedeji Adeola, but it's actually Mrs. Omololu Sangowawa that is speaking with us. Thank you for that very educative presentation. I'm sure some of us have questions that we would like to ask her. Please, if you have any question, you are free to indicate. Then I will ask you to unmute, and then you can ask your question. While we were going on with the presentation, I saw that some permanent secretaries also joined us. I saw Mrs. Ogunsanwo. Mrs. Ogunsanwo, you are welcome, ma. And then I also saw Mrs. Peregrino. You are welcome, ma. You are free now to ask your questions.
Thank you. My question, please.
Go ahead, ma.
Yes, I appreciate the PSO as well as the speaker. These are the type of things we need at our age. Thank you very much. My question is, I have a stiff neck between the head and the neck, the bone, I don't know how to call it, very close to the ears. That pains me most of the time, and I have to be rubbing this heat all on it. I don't know whether it is through straining or it is through age, that one is aging, and that spine, as I don't know what to call it, to between the head, the ear, and the neck, that bone that is there, they are very, very painful. How do I manage it, please? Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. From what you mentioned, you said you have a stiff neck.
Yeah.
There are two things I'll query now. Since you said you're having the stiff neck and you feel pain around the bone around your ear, have you seen have you seen them in the ENT to clear that you don't have any issues with your ear?
No, I haven't.
I would advise you to see them. But besides that, from what you're saying, stiff neck, I suspect that it's possible that you have cervical spondylosis. That is as a result of, sorry to disturb, let me bring you back now. When you were in service, what did you engage in, the kind of work? What were you basically doing? Was it that you got to write a lot, use the system a lot? Hello, ma. Hello, ma. Hello, ma. Hello, ma.
That was Mrs. Ogunsanwo speaking.
Okay, I would like to get a feedback. Was she someone that was always with on the system, always writing? Because people are prone to cervical spondylosis that have got engaged with that over time, and she needs to get an X-ray done to be sure that there's nothing wrong with the neck. Then based on that, we'll be able to treat or advise her on what to do. Because I won't advise her to just treat without getting it investigated.
Well,
so she needs to do an X-ray. Yes, or she can come to the staff clinic. We're available so that we can handle it. But most likely it's something that has to do with cervical spondylosis, but she also needs to clear with her ENT that she doesn't have any issues with her ears. So that's it.
Thank you. We have the 20th head of service also raising up her hand. Okay. You are invited to speak, ma'am.
Well, thank you very much. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning,
ma'am.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Sangowawa,
yes,
our director, Mrs. Durodola, the PAMSEC, and our head of service for taking care of us. My question is, how do you differentiate between the pain? If you have pain in your shoulder, how do you differentiate the pain due to wrong posture or the pain from the heart? That is my question. Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. The pain from the shoulder, it's most cases you feel a bit of discomfort. The one from the heart, that one pain from the heart, most cases you have, if you're someone that takes your blood pressure and your pulse rate regularly, I'm sure you have a blood pressure machine. If your
Yes.
blood pressure, the pulse rate is above 100, then I would say it's something to look out for. And then if your blood pressure is above 140/90, at least basically from anything above age 60, if any blood pressure is above 140/90, those are signs that one has a high blood pressure. So if your pulse rate is not above 100 and your blood pressure is not above 140/90, the most cases, if you have discomfort from your shoulder, it could be arthritis of the shoulder, or if it is from posture, it will give you signals immediately that, and if you adjust, it wears out. But if it doesn't wear out, then it's a point of concern that one should do further investigations to find out that one doesn't have arthritis of the shoulder, because we women, we are all more prone to arthritis because of the hormonal changes in our body and the fact that one has, after menopause, the hormonal changes are faster. So one after a certain age is advisable to screen to be sure that one doesn't have shoulder arthritis, or shoulder pain also could come from the neck. It could be a referred pain from the neck. So it could be any of those. But however, if your blood pressure is okay and your pulse rate is not above 100, then you should check that it's most likely a shoulder pain. But if it's that you have pulse rates above 100, high blood pressure, then it could be a heart issue. Do you understand me, ma? Am I clear? Or
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am.
You're welcome, ma. Then we also have Mr. Tyru here that wants to ask a question. You can go ahead, sir, Mr. Tyru, with your question.
Thank you, my director. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning,
Kind of the already established protocol. Dr. Sangowawa, thank you for the wonderful presentation.
Thank you,
My
sir.
question goes thus. You see, some of us still drive around these days, but with the vehicular traffic shouts around. After driving, probably you are coming to Alausa from anywhere, and you find yourself in the normal traffic jam. At the end of the day, by the time you get to Alausa, driving maybe in the queue for about an hour, you feel some pains, definitely, even if you are driving this stick. So what do we do? Because you have advised on medical ground not to, engage in drug abuse, and one need to at least relieve himself of that pain or such a thing. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. For the driving, when you get down from the car, which I know that after a long time of sitting, you try to do some stretches. Stretches in the sense that your hands, you can bring them up at shoulder level. Can you see me? I would prefer.
Yes, I'm watching. You are very clear.
So that I'll be able to show you. You can bring out your two hands and you stretch and you go that way, up and down. That's a form of, you can do that 10, relax, 10, relax, 3 counts, and you can go for the shoulder, you go up and in 10. Then your tummy, you can pull them in, but I'm pulling in my tummy right now and I'm talking to you. So It's not that you're holding your breath to do the tummy, the muscle, as in it's a core exercise for the tummy. You are not holding your breath. You pull in your tummy and you talk. You can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and you relax. You push it out. You can do that. Then your buttocks, you try to hold it like, when they say, when we're small and they're trying to give you injection, they'll say, as in your buttocks, that's tighten fist. You tighten your buttocks muscles very tight. You count 10, relax, 10, 3 times. Those are kind of stretches that you can do in a simple way to help to stretch. So you can do that after coming out from your car. And even in your car, some people know how to do it even while sitting down. You can do it at intervals. You tighten your buttocks muscles while you're seated in traffic. count 10, relax, 10, relax, 10, relax. Then also your leg, while you are seated, you can move, bend and straighten the knee, bend and straighten each knee. There are forms of stretches that one can do to help to reduce the pain. Lagos, we have traffic in Lagos, so we have to live with it one way or the other. And when you get home, when you're away from, you get home, you can do these simple exercises that we taught now. The mountain pose, the bed dog exercise, where I said you hold, or getting on the force, holding one leg up and the opposite leg stretched out at intervals. And if it's now more than that, come to us so that we'll be able to advise better at the staff clinic. Physiotherapy, we are open up for you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. I see a question here. This person said, thank you for the program. I appreciate our HOS. Please, I have this lower back pain challenge. I had gone for tests, did X-ray, and I'm on medication. Artrotec 75. Will these exercises suggested help to manage it?
Thank you. For the low back is already established. There are different kinds of low back pain. For her, that she already has an established low back pain, I will advise her to come in, let's see her, because there are some exercises.
He's a man.
Him, it's advisable he comes in and let us see his X-ray. I don't know what it was reading. I would prefer to see the X-ray because there are different kinds of shifts in the low back. There are some anterior shifts, some posterior shifts. So for anterior shift, some exercises they are different. So a specific exercise that will suit the back pain that has already been established is a better form of exercise for him. But for those that don't have any issues at all, just to make sure they maintain what they have and not to develop it, those exercises that I mentioned are better off for them. Is that fine, ma?
I think that's okay. Can she ask more questions? At least we still have about 10 minutes more or so. You can speak, you can still go for another 10 minutes. So if you still have any questions you want to ask,
please, is orthopedic. I saw a question now. Someone said, is orthopedic mattress okay for someone? So it flashed now. Without doctor's recommendation, yes, it's okay at this age. Orthopedic mattress is fine at this age. Yes, it's okay.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Yes, you mentioned orthopedic mattress.
Yes, ma'am.
I want to say that these orthopedic mattresses, they have grades.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I have changed mine almost twice.
Yes, ma'am.
Almost twice. We bought one. It was like a rock. When you sleep on it, by the time you wake up, you feel like you have done a marathon while you are sleeping. While you are sleeping.
Yes, ma'am.
So we had to change it again. So I just want people to know that when you are going for orthopedic mattress, make sure that it is not too hard. Because when it is hard, it is so uncomfortable. Thank you.
Thank you for that contribution, ma'am.
Can I say something? Yes, ma'am. The orthopedic mattress, in initial stage, our body tries to adjust. It feels as if it's too hard. But over time, our body will adjust. It's because the body probably was used to the soft mattress. If you put someone in a uncomfortable, the body will first react. So that's what's happened. But however, as one gets older, it's advisable to use a firm mattress or an orthopedic mattress, even though it's very hard in the initial stage. After using it maybe for a week, your body will adjust.
More questions? Okay. Let me ask you a question. What advice do you, okay, I can see somebody's hand.
Dr. Oduwole.
Yes, Dr. Oduwole.
Oduwole.
Yes.
Hello.
Please, Ma, you can go ahead with your question.
Yes, thank you very much. Good morning, everybody.
Good
Good
morning,
morning,
Ma.
ma.
Thank you for this very exciting topic, which we have learned a lot from. Mine is more of a contribution.
Okay, ma.
Concerning the sitting posture. It's been acknowledged now that people who, especially females, who actually sit down most of the time are prone to a lot of reproductive problems. In fact, they have said that it can cause cancer to some extent of the uterus.
Wow.
So I would suggest that this is transmitted to others, not even of the seniors,
Everybody.
adults. That people who sit down, especially females who sit down most of the time, should be advised, like you said, to intermittently come up the computer or whatever they're doing, take a walk and come back. That's the suggestion now internationally, that they are prone to a lot of reproductive issues, which they might not know. So apart from the posture thing, the postural thing, we should talk to all our female workers too around us, even in the service, to always take a stretch and come back. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ma.
Thank you, ma.
Pleasure. Thank you. Well done.
Thank you very much, ma.
You still have like 7 more minutes. Questions, contributions are welcome.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to ask the question. If there are grades for these orthopedic beds, I had used 2, and after a few months or even 2 years, it was still foam, ordinary foam they use for chairs. And when I started using it about 5 months ago, it was okay. But of recent now, I'm having pains again. I don't know what I can do. And nearly every day I take paracetamol as painkiller. I don't know what our physiotherapists will advise. If there are grades, and how do we tell the people we want to buy the mattress from that it is so great that we want to buy.
Mrs. Sangowawa, this is
Yes.
Mrs. Ogunsanwo again speaking. You were trying to answer a question earlier. Maybe she can take that question now before you answer this question.
Okay. She asked about orthopedic mattresses, the grades, if there are grades.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
From what I know, I heard there are 2 types: the full orthopedic and semi-orthopedic. Some people go for the semi-orthopedic, but the thing is basically we have a production problem. That's how I say it. Because orthopedic mattress, if one gets a good it's supposed to last forever. But I guess there's a problem with production, so they do all sorts of production. So that we can't guarantee. But however, if you want to buy the bed, you can maybe talk to the distributor that you want a firm mattress or a good one. They know from over time those that produce better beds, so they'll be able to give you a better advice on which one will last better. But however, orthopedic is supposed to be orthopedic mattress everywhere. But I don't know, there's a production problem. Because I've heard of where some people buy, and next thing they tell you after 3 years, they tell you it has expired or something, which shouldn't be. So I guess the production problem.
Exactly.
So that's
exactly.
That. But however, since you said you used and you're having pains, why don't you come to the hospital? The clinic, let's see. And maybe you have to do some other x-rays. Okay, so that we can look at it thoroughly. Yes, ma'am. So that we can look at it thoroughly, because it might be that you just need some simple exercises that you start doing that would relieve the pain instead of taking paracetamol all the time, which is not advisable.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much. I'll be expecting the day I can come and time I can come. I'm available anytime, except Wednesday.
Okay, ma'am. You can make it a Tuesday or a Thursday, anyone that is convenient for you, ma'am. We're here at the staff clinic, and we'll close after 4. So you can
Let's just take
at any time.
Okay.
Yes,
we have 2 more questions. Let's just take these 2. I have Mrs. Peregrino. You can unmute, ma, and ask your question.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
welcome.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much for this beneficial lecture.
Very good.
I was trying to practice that. This chin talking.
Okay.
Chin talking, and I don't seem to get it.
Okay.
If you can
watch me, I'll do it. I can demonstrate it. This is my chin. I'm sitting upright. My chin is out, and I go in.
Okay, you pull your head out and in.
Yes,
your head.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right.
I can't see you. Let's see you.
Can you see me, ma'am?
Yes, I'm seeing you.
Okay.
About 10 times.
Jacobo, you are covered up. You are covered up. I can't see you.
Okay, let me view.
Yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And then I can hold and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And relax.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. And then we have Mrs. Aderin Solashoname. You can ask your question, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Morning, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you very much for this meeting. It's very, very interesting. I just want to chip in. I want to say an experience I've had with body ache and things like that after sleeping not too well in the night. I was advised to learn swimming.
Okay, which is good.
And I want to tell you that water therapy is very, very good for the whole body. Definitely. And ever since I started, each evening I sleep like a baby. Even you don't have to be an Olympian to go for Olympics in your swimming. Just know the techniques and stay in the water for like an hour and a half every other day. You come back and tell me that you had a very good experience. I've had that since about 4 or 5 months that I started swimming, and it has helped me a lot. Also, as for the orthopedic beds, I'm also aware that even in the US, the beds are given 10 years guarantee. I don't think they last forever, because the one I bought from the US, I got a 10-year guarantee for. And that's my input. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for that contribution. I think we've exhausted our time. I would like somebody to appreciate our facilitator for today. She has done very well. I personally have learned so many things. At least I've learned few exercises that I can do to maintain my posture. Proper way of sitting, proper way of standing, proper way of walking. I'm sure we've all learned so much. I'll please want someone to signify and appreciate our facilitator for today before we invite the permanent secretary to declare the webinar closed.
Call somebody now.
Okay, I think I'm seeing somebody's hand. Yes.
Yes.
Go ahead, ma'am.
On behalf of every one of us, yes, on behalf of every one of us that participated at this interesting, informative, and educative lecture, I want to say a big thank you to our facilitator, Dr. Sangowawa Omololu.O is written there.
Yes.
Personally, I've gained a lot. And it's a type of thing that I've been looking forward to. And I have to thank the PSO that gave us this particular topic. Because like myself, as if I'm bending when walking, and one of my sisters will say, stretch. And when I stretch, you see that you have pains in the chest. But with what you have done for us today, I will start I even started practicing it as you were telling us. I hope we will be able to get the papers of that lecture. God will bless you.
Amen.
God will increase. God will give you the enablement to make others be as agile, no matter their age, as you yourself, because I can see you in the picture. You are very, very agile. And I pray that everything good in this coming new month, which is few hours away, will be your portion.
Amen.
And
Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much.
Amen.
And our gratitude to the head of service and all the members of your department. God bless you all. Thank you. Happy new month in advance.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
On that note, I want to appreciate every one of us for joining our 28th head of service. Thank you very much for joining us today, and all distinguished members of Alausa. Thank you for joining us. All directors retired that have joined us, and so many of people that keep returning. Thank you for joining us for today. On that note, I would like to invite the Permanent Secretary, PSO, Mr. Samson Ajibade, to declare this webinar closed for today.
First, let me express appreciation to our facilitator, the physiotherapist, Mr. Sangowawa, for a beautiful delivery of the session, and also to appreciate all our guests. This is Okewo, the former head of service, and the rest of other participants of CFR. Thank you for adding value to this webinar at all times. I pray God will continue to strengthen you. And I want to believe that all we've had from the physiotherapists will go a long way in making us as strong as Moses, as earlier said. We continue to go strong, the strength, everything, maintain the shape. You can see the facilitator, Mrs. Sangowawa. She has really
Not
shown.
Yeah, correct, sir. Yeah, correct, sir.
I said you have even demonstrated that by telling us your posture for now. How perfectly you have kept your posture. I'm trying to let us imbibe and at least benefit from it. We want to appreciate you and all the participants. Sayemi Johnson, the rest of us.
Thank you, sir.
I really appreciate you. You have really added value, and I want to believe that this will encourage us to even do more and see at how we can widen the coast and bring in more people and share their personal experiences with us, so that those of us upcoming will not fall into any of the dilemmas those who don't hack into such things are falling into. So I want to appreciate us all and to also admonish us to please try as much as possible all that we are taught, imbibe, and try not just to be listeners of the lecture, but also to practicalize, yes, the doer, so that we can walk the talk. So that when next we are seeing you, we can see a perfectly fit 70 looking 40, looking 50 in our senior citizens. So please accept the appreciation of the head of service. And on his behalf, I want to thank you all and declare the webinar closed for the day. Thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
So on that note,
Bye.
Bless you. We appreciate
Bye.
the webinar has come to an end.
you.
By the grace of God, we have another wonderful topic in another 10 days.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for joining, and
Bless
God
you.
bless you.
Thank you.
Everyone can unmute
God
and say
bless
one
you.
or two things.
Thank you. And bye.
I see Mrs. Are, a retired permanent secretary that joined us. Thank you so much, ma, for joining. And I also want to say thank you so much to Mr. Osiefa for joining as well. Thank you, and God bless you.
Mrs.
Another 10
Oluwasuji,
days.
I appreciate your joining. No, thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Excellent. Mr.
Thank you so
Taiwo,
much.
welcome. Thank you.
Bye.
Long you live, my peers, sir.
God bless you.
Amen, sir.
Mujemu. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You can unmute, sir. Mr. Osiefa, you can unmute, sir.
All
unmute
right.
yourself, sir.
Mujemu.
Good to see you, sir.
Okay,
how are you? How are you doing?
Fine.
Come on, this baby is going too much gray here. You don't want to look 40, go and clear your baby jaw. Look 40, my friend. Go and look 40. Go and shave your baby.
Okay, madam.
Oh, better. What do we have? Mugemuleni. I am Mugemutila now. I am Mugemutila.
Okay.
Mrs. Sangowawa. Mrs. Sangowawa.
I think she left.
Okay, I want to confirm if the same Sangowawa with the SG.
Oh, yes.
Is that the wife of the SG?
She left. She's no longer with us.
Is she the wife of your general?
I don't know. I will find out.
Please find out. Let me know.
All right, sir.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye-bye, sir.
We don't think back in you.